Growing up, I was known for two things. My friends, they called me the train. That's because I used to snore absurdly loud. I didn't sound like a train though. I sounded more like a wheezing buffalo giving birth to a flaming cactus. It was an awful noise. No one wanted to share a bed with me. No one wanted to share a room with me. Not even a house with me. Not even the neighborhood with me. Not even the city with me. Okay, I'm just exaggerating. But the only way to stop me from snoring is to hit me. It's no coincidence that all my former girlfriends would go on to become professional kickboxers. My parents were also snorers, so I thought it was just genetic. Madame Toastmaster, fellow humans that breathe, what I didn't know was that my snoring was related to the way that I was breathing. Something that's supposed to be automatic, instinctual, yet somehow I was doing it all wrong. Now, you might not sound like a congested rhino when you sleep, but today I have some important information for you as I share my story on how I learned how to breathe better, live better. The second thing I was known for was I had the uncanny ability to fall asleep anywhere and everywhere. Driving became a snoozy version of Russian roulette. Now, it did have some advantages though. Anytime I'd go out for drinks with my friends, I'd never have to worry about staying sober. That's because my friends made me the permanent, undesignated driver. They were so worried about my safety. I was young, so I never really worried too much about my health. Until age 38, I started noticing some little telltale signs that I might have sleep apnea. Like people telling me, David, you definitely have sleep apnea. So I looked up some stats. 1 in 8 people suffer from sleep apnea. And sleep apnea is linked to all the scary diseases: strokes, heart attacks, diabetes, Alzheimer's, cancer, and even a reduced lifespan. I was officially scared. So I did what scared people do. I went to go see my doctor. And after completing a sleep study with an electrical device and a tube tied to my face, it was official. Not only did I have sleep apnea, I had the worst kind: severe obstructive sleep apnea. Over the course of an hour, I would stop breathing 30 times. 30 times I would stop breathing in the middle of the night. So my doctor prescribed me a $3,000 CPAP machine. That machine covers my mouth, feeds tubes of air into my nose to prevent me from stopping breathing 30 times in an hour. And it worked. After the first night, I woke up feeling refreshed. But sleeping with that machine was uncomfortable. And knowing that I would be tethered to this machine for the rest of my life was uncomfortable. And I still didn't know at that time that my snoring and now my sleep apnea was related to the way that I was breathing. That all changed when I started freediving. Now, freediving is a sport where you hold your breath and you do everything on that one breath. So you can imagine how important taking that breath is. Pretty quickly, when I started freediving, I learned that I was breathing inefficiently. I was breathing with my chest muscles. And I learned that the proper way to breathe is actually to use this giant muscle that's shaped like an oval underneath your lungs called the diaphragm. And a proper breath involves your belly coming out. I also learned that the big problem for me was that I was a mouth breather. I was mouth breathing subconsciously, and I was mouth breathing when I was exercising. And at the time when I was exercising, I thought, well, I'm about to exercise, I need more air, I better start breathing through my mouth. Then I figured out that my mouth breathing might be related to my snoring and my sleep apnea. I started to learn that humans were meant to breathe mainly through our nose, because our nose filters out the air, it humidifies the air, and it regulates our breathing. And the interesting fact that I learned is that all mammals, with the exception of dogs, all breathe through their nose. Even cheetahs and horses, when they're galloping at full speed, they're all nasal breathers. So why was I mouth breathing? Now, this is the interesting thing, that even if you don't sound like a choking bear when you sleep, is the important information for you. Studies have found that computer screens disrupt our normal pattern of behavior. They found that if you're in front of a computer screen, you're more likely to exhibit chest breathing and inefficient breathing. They also found that if you're in front of a computer screen, you're more likely to just subconsciously stop breathing, also known as screen apnea. And the same studies have found that when you're in front of a computer screen, you're more likely to start mouth breathing. So the first step is becoming aware. And what I had to do is I had to train my body to start nasal breathing again. And how I did that was I started all my workouts with nasal breathing, and I would manage it by switching back to mouth breathing whenever I felt too uncomfortable. Over time, I was able to complete all my workouts, all breathing through my nose again. Eventually, no more snoring, no more sleep apnea, no more falling asleep everywhere, no more CPAP machine, and no more unhappy girlfriends. I wish. So I'd like to conclude with all of us taking a nice deep breath together, of course through our nose and with our diaphragms. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Feel that fully, and let's make that the automatic and instinctual way to breathe. And that's how we can breathe together, live better. Toastmaster.